Okay, so talking about whiteflies, they love those moist, shady conditions. I definitely find them on my tropical plants, and I've also found some. They're notorious. You find them on hibiscus and bird of paradise. So a lot of the really popular Southern California plants, unfortunately. So they like those shady conditions. So one of the things you can do to help keep them off is to train your plant for more sun exposure. You can use stakes, tie wire, netting, anything you can to spread the plant out, get more sun exposure to the insides of the plants. That will discourage the whiteflies from setting up shop. You can blast the whitefly eggs and the whiteflies themselves away with water, as well as the sooty mold that they've left behind. That can pretty much be easily rinsed off with water or wiped off with like a paper towel if it's really caked on there. You also notice the fuzzy white tufts underneath the leaves. That's a telltale sign that the whiteflies are there. That's their nest. I have used neem oil as preventative in the past with great success. The plants that I've used neem oil on rarely have whitefly problems. Another thing that will really help is worm castings. Actually, worm castings help discourage whiteflies. Not really sure how, but that's something I've read and I've tried, experimented with it, and it really does make a big difference. 10% worm castings to your potting soil is all you'll ever need. Really, more than that, you're going to start having soil compaction problems, drying issues, things like that. But you till in some worm castings or put some into as a top dressing on your potted plants. It will definitely help discourage whiteflies and help feed your plants anyway. So you get a double whammy there. We included a few different harmful insects on our printout here. We have the ones we talked about: aphids, spider mites, whiteflies. There's also a few other ones that we didn't get into as much, like grubs. You'll find those oftentimes burrowed underneath your lawn. The big, picking those out by hand is just a start. If you end up going with a chemical control, we have the active ingredient called imidacloprid, which you can find in some of our Bayer insecticides. Those are soil drenches or sprays that you can use as a soil drench. So we threw together a few different packets of products that you could use. One is kind of like a starter package that will get you through a whole season of your gardening, indoors or out. And then we put together more of an expert package, which would be the next step up if you really wanted to have control over everything, and maybe have a little bit larger style garden or commercial garden. So to start off with, I got these. And this will kind of get you going from start to finish. Okay. You have your microscope. This will help you scout out those insects like the aphids and the spider mites. This is a fogger. Okay. You can use this. There's a certain amount of cubic feet that one of these will handle, and this is something that ideally you would use before you even set up your garden, like inside. This can be used in a greenhouse. This can also be used outdoors if you put a tarp over your plants, keep it all that air sealed off. You could use one of these technically outdoors if you used it properly. But this will help. This is going to the prevention. This is killing off your insects before you have them, before you have problems with them. This can also be used during your plant's growth cycle. Okay. But just be sure, it comes with this label right here, this door hanger, and this is that restricted entry interval I was talking about. This is something that you don't want to be exposed to. This is something you don't want to expose your food to, or your dishes, or your pets, or living organisms. Sticky whitefly aphid traps. These yellow traps, with that yellow color that insects are attracted to. Definitely beneficial. They're cheap. They're easy to use. I clamp one of these or two of these and stake them into my soil. I also hang one up, and they're great for catching fungus gnats They're great for catching houseflies.
No abrasive chemicals.
Yeah, no chemicals. You know, these things are super sticky. So the biggest problem I found with them is like I keep on brushing like my leg against them and they sticks to my leg. So if you put them out of the way. There's places you can hang them. There's all kinds of ways you can use these, but they last quite a while. Ideally, they're meant for monitoring, so you could see if you had a insect population that was high enough to where you get to the point where it'd be economical for you to spray. Okay, but they do also act as a trap. So if that's all you're using them for, it'll work. You know, like I was saying, you can catch the flies, you can catch the fungus gnats. You can get an idea of the grids that are printed on these. You can get an idea of how high your population of your infestation is. So definitely worth having. These are essential. Pipettes. They're cheap. They're like 30 cents a piece. These are great for applying the pesticides and mixing them up in the proper amounts. You don't need very much. Most of these, like the BT, you know, you're looking at about a teaspoon a gallon. So if you're making only a quart of solution, you know, you really have to measure this stuff out accurately. You're talking milliliters, you know, and it's best to have one for every different product you're using. You know, this silica, this Protect is a silica-based spray, and you know, there's all kinds of chunky stuff and stuff where if it got in here and then you mix it in with the BT, you're gonna have they're gonna bond together. You're gonna cause problems, contaminate each other, so to speak. Yeah. So this Protect is great to use. I mix it with azamax. This has got the azadirachtin. This is the main ingredient, the active ingredient of this. So yeah, you use these two together, and it will provide you lots of protection. Also, if you're outside, you can mix the BT with the azamax with the Protect, all three together. So you're getting the resistance, you're getting the drought tolerance, the wilt tolerance. This one is providing you preventative measures against the spider mites, the whiteflies, also a little bit with the fungus, and then this is what you use for your caterpillars. So you get all three of these together in one tank mix. You're really covering a lot of bases there in one spray. So it's a little bit more easy to use. You don't have to mix multiple containers up. This little spray bottle, it's kind of a beginner spray bottle, but this is really all you need. You know, if you got your you've got the rotating nozzles, so you can spray underneath the leaves. That's where a lot of these insects live. If you're going to be spraying them, that's where you want to spray. Not just the top of the leaves, but on the inside and the bottom of the leaves as well. You know, inside the plant, if you will. Definitely important. Okay. That's one thing I want to mention on one more time also is there's concentrates like this that you have to make into a solution and then pour into a spray bottle. Or then there's ready to use sprays like this liquid ladybug. Okay, so there's different benefits to using each kind, style, if you will.
Convenience.
Yeah, convenience. This is much more convenient. You know, you can buy this. This is ready to spray right off the shelf. This has been properly mixed. This has any kind of surfactant or pH adjustment that they would have used or that they would want you to use already built into this. This is ideal, ready to go, ready to spray. This container can be thrown away in the trash when you're done with it. Okay, it's made to use and to save as you go. So I don't have to dump this when I'm done with it because it's going to go bad on me. Okay, so that's definitely useful. You know, I don't have to buy an extra spray bottle. Whereas something like this, you know, has to be mixed accurately. It has to be pH adjusted. You have to add the surfactant if it's something that would need one, like you would use. This kind of helps act as a surfactant with the azamax. But there's other products like the saturator that would be added into something like this, or something like this. So there's all different kinds of things you have to get messy with and get your hands dirty with, and then pour it into a bigger sprayer, like this one or like this one. Okay. So that's all doable, and a bigger sprayer is definitely more convenient or easy to spray big plants, to get in there, to not have your arms and your body exposed as much, but it's kind of made for a larger application rates, larger amounts. It is not advised to measure out your water in this. Let's say if you want to mix up a quart of water or less than a quart of water, it's better to mix up that water or measure out that water even in a measuring cup and then pour it in, because lines on here aren't as accurate as you would want them to be for something that's precise. Definitely a lot cheaper to go the concentrated route, but that's not factoring in things like your sprayer that you have to buy and the other products that you have to mix in. So it's one of those personal choices. Now you can always take a spray like this and dump it into a larger sprayer, a wand style sprayer, if you have larger plants, or if you just feel that the application is easier with a larger wand style sprayer like that, which I do recommend. I use a wand style sprayer. It's much easier to get in and down and dirty with the plants and not be exposed to the extra fumes and the pesticides themselves. So this pack together, this starter pack that will get you going, this will pretty much handle your whole year for you. That'd be $99.69, so an even $100. But you'll have your bases covered, and I mean the peace of mind that comes with that is worth the extra money. I mean, if you figure out how much your garden is worth to you, how much time and effort you put into it, $100, it's a small price to pay. But for those that want to take to the next level, we put together more of a master gardener pack that you would add to this as a starter package. So don't always want to use gloves, okay? Box of gloves like this definitely lasts you the whole year. They're multi-purpose. Keep your hands safe. We've got the neem oil. Mildew cure, okay? This has been a real big popular item with us. The mildew cure helps fight powdery mildew, obviously, but an unintended benefit of this mildew cure is a lot of people have been using it as a foliar feed, okay? They say they use this for their mildew, and the leaves just seem to love it. There's all kinds of organic natural ingredients in this, cottonseed oil, which they actually use cottonseed as a fertilizer, as a nitrogen-based fertilizer, and there's garlic oil and corn oil. So these are all things that will kind of coat your leaf and help it shine, but also just provide a basic element of nutrition for it. So definitely a big fan of that. We got the Sierra Natural Science. They make a great organic product as well. This is for spider mites, really gentle. This is something that could be used during flowering and with minimal side effects as far as taste or yield. We got the 3-in-1 garden spray. This is also organic. This is a sesame oil and fish oil based product. This one is a 3-in-1, so it can help fight against insects, fungicides, as well as spider mites, miticide, okay, if you will. Does impart a little bit of a taste from the sesame oil and the fish oil, so it's not something that I would use on my formed fruits and flowers.
Especially indoor.
Yeah, especially indoors. But I would use this during my vegetative cycle, and especially if I was, if I didn't want to do something like the azamax, or if I just wanted to stay as natural as possible. This is what I would recommend. And then finally, we have the Mighty Wash. Okay, so this is like seems to be what all the experts are using, and this is those final stages of the plant development. This is when you have spider mite issues. This is designed for spider mites. This is when you have spider mite issues towards the very end of your cycle, before harvest, when you just really have to do something. The spider mite, the Mighty Wash will help literally wash off your leaves and your plants, your flowers, and take out the remaining spider mites that are there. Real gentle. It's mostly watered. There's been a special electrical current that's run through it that somehow activates the other ingredients that are in here. But the people that have been using this rave about it. This is what they ask for. This is what they want. This is what they use. So these together, a little more advanced. Also comes with the saturator. As well as this SNS soil drench. This is for fungus gnats. Okay, SNS, real big company, or not big, but real popular. Yeah, so these all together, this runs $185, but you put this together, you start off with something like this, start throwing in something like this. This is going to last you years, and this is really covering all your bases. I mean, you have the multiple modes of action on your plants, so you're really not leaving room for your insects to escape death. You know, these are the things, these are the tools that you'll need. You know, if you look at like farming expenditures, the biggest expenditure for farms, agricultural production, is the pesticides, and then fertilizers come after that. You know, they really, you know, the pests can really affect your yields and your quality and just your levels of stress.
Yeah.
So
all your hard work.
you know, all your hard work can be eaten away, literally. And you know, not to mention that pests can also spread diseases from plant to plant. So you know, if you have any kind of time and effort and money invested in your garden, which you probably do, you know, this is something that will ensure that success.
And save you.
Yeah, and so, you know, they all have their specific purposes, and they all work in their own ways, but it will definitely keep that garden growing. So thanks for joining us today, and if anyone has any questions, happy to answer them for you.